It's a perfect collaboration. The director's dead, the writer's dead, every actor in the movie is dead. The only one left alive is the composer, who wasn't born when it was made. Ideal.
I am Dracula.
Actually, there were 3 films that were in the archive of MGM, and they were preparing video releases. And one was The Mummy, one was Frankenstein, and one was Dracula. And they sent me the 3, and they said, well, pick one. And I looked at the 3, and I said, I'll do all 3, of course. And they said, no, you have to pick one. I have to do Dracula then, because Bela Lugosi is such a beautiful image. There are places in the film where his face takes up the whole screen. It's really shot in a very cinematic, visual way, more than the others. The early film scores borrowed from the classics, like that, when they were trying to make a style of film composing. And so when I wanted to indicate the period of the film. With the Kronos, I wanted to travel with them. We're old friends, and so I wrote a piano part for myself. So it's actually a string quintet, the 5th part being the piano. Well, I know that music very well, so it's not hard to do. It's like asking a person who does abstract painting to draw drawings when actually they know how to draw. Very often people think they don't know how to draw, right? But if you have a classical training, then you learn classical music and you learn that language, and then later on, if you do something else, you still haven't forgotten it. So it was easy to do. In that sense, the language of the music was very immediate for me. Now, when I look at the film, it seems to me, from the point of view of the 21st century, it seems to me very funny, a lot of very funny things in it. I mean, the film is 75 years old. But many things that we think are funny, it's not because they're antiquated and they seem to be mannerism of a certain time, because that they are actually funny. I mean, they were jokes then and they're jokes now. And when people hear it 75 years later, they still laugh. So I get the impression that Tod Browning, who was the director, knew very well that there were funny things in Dracula, and he plays with them. I feel like he gave permission to do that, so I do it. But one of the interesting things about the film without music is that there are a lot of troubling places in terms of the rhythm of the film itself, the way it goes from scene to scene, the way it plays, and the way it ends, for example. It looked to me, when we came to the end of the film, that they more or less had run out of money. It was almost over, but not quite. And suddenly the last 3 or 4 minutes of the film, the action accelerates very rapidly, and before the film is over, you hear the church bell, that's it, boom, done. But what happens when you watch it without music, the audience doesn't even know it's over. It just happened too quickly. So what I did is I took the overture and I made an epilogue, and I wrote the overture, I wrote the music. So when you hear, when the end comes, you hear the beginning of the piece again, and almost always the audience will applaud.